I sank toward a seabed that old charts called empty. I already suspected it was hiding someone's fortune.
That first glimmer under the sand was not rock. It was gold trying to breathe again.
One amulet meant a person, many meant a tomb. I knew I was following a trail.
These offerings had once lined a sacred path. Now they pointed me to something buried deeper. A harbor that rich was built to feed temples and tombs. Wealth moved through here like a tide. Even the packing crates bled gold. Whoever lay beyond this had been worshipped as more than a king.
He seemed to watch me, even in ruin. I was walking into his design.
Gold has a way of surviving belief. It waited here longer than any priest. I recognized processional steps, once swept clean for ceremonies, now sprinkled with the remains of offerings. Even eroded, the inlay shouted one word: access. Not for the poor, and not for the living. Whoever pried those gemstones out never reached the real treasure. Their greed stopped too early.
The walls spoke of abundance guarded by curses. I trusted the abundance more than the curses.
Even the sky above the dead was gilded. This was the language of a tomb that refused modesty.
I saw the residue of wealth, like crumbs leading toward the feast.
I recognized a false floor the moment the gold stopped following the usual pattern. The combination of bronze and gold meant one thing: a lock over something worth protecting. The seabed itself began to open, as if exhaling a secret.
I saw that unmistakable color, the concentrated reflection of a room full of gold.
The water turned a light vis, like I was swimming into melted treasure.
I knew from the iconography I was no longer in a harbor. I had entered a treasury. The silhouettes alone told me this was not storage. This was worship through wealth. I had breached the first layer of the Pharaoh's forgotten fortune.
These bowls had once carried wine and oils to the gods. Now they poured light into the water instead.
The chests guarded something more delicate than stone: compressed lives, paid in precious metals.
I saw wealth meant for eternity, casually drifting into temporary beauty.
Each tablet was a bribe to the afterlife, hammered in place with desperate love. These were not tools of war, but symbols that killed doubt and asserted power. The altar looked less like a place of worship and more like an organized avalanche of gold. Those doors did not guard a temple. They guarded a hierarchy of treasure.
The missing eye was not looted at random. It was a key taken out of place.
I realized I was standing on a blueprint, not just decoration.
The entire treasury itself was built as a code, using treasures as markers.
I had seen keystones hidden in luxury before. This one shone brighter than the rest.
The real lock was never wood or stone. It was gold turning in secret. Even underwater, I felt the temple flinch as it changed. The first treasury had only been the welcome mat. Here, wealth lost its symbolism. It was pure quantity. They had built vehicles for a journey into death, and yet they never moved an inch. Each collar turned a human neck into a pedestal for wealth.
I recognized a pattern. This was a treasury that bragged about itself.
That single carved ascent told me the real hoard was still below.
The floor itself was lying to me, and the gold gave it away.
The glow from below made this entire treasury look like a side room.
The deeper I went, the less they bothered to decorate the path. They saved their energy for the destination. The language shifted from worship to engineering, but the promise of treasure only felt stronger. The gold on the gate wasn't decorative. It was an instruction manual in precious metal.
In that moment, I understood. The temple treasury was only a showroom. The true hoard was a living machine.
The vault looked like a forest whose trees grew out of gold and stone.
They built a library of treasure that could rearrange itself, always hiding its most precious parts.
This ultimate vault, submerged for centuries, holds the Pharaoh's greatest treasures.
The vault wasn't just storing treasure, it was circulating it, like blood in a body.
The vault felt alive, and its heartbeat sounded like wealth moving behind stone. Every chest showed how far the Pharaoh's hunger had reached.
The reflections made the hoard feel infinite, a trick of optics and arrogance.
I knew I was about to step into the sum of everything I had seen so far.
They stacked their names like layers of armor around whatever lay inside.
I had entered a space where stone was merely a scaffold for treasure.
Even in effigy, they remained subordinate, forever surrounded by someone else's fortune.
They had recreated trade routes in miniature, turning oceans into ornaments. They tried to bring an entire functioning economy into the afterlife, rendered in metal. This ring was a victory lap, built out of other people's losses.
They had stripped their own temples to feed the appetite of one hidden room.
Here, knowledge and gold shared equal shelf space, each one too precious to leave above.
The vault itself chose what to show me, as if performing a final trick.
They decorated surfaces no living eye was meant to see. That was a different level of devotion.
The amount of personal adornment here could have ransomed entire nations.
They built a throne for treasure itself, powered by an engine of more treasure.
At last, the true owner of this impossible vault made his presence known.
They armed him with everything: violence, faith, and information, then buried him under it all.
The vault allowed a single beam of judgment to fall upon its master and his riches.
In that glow, the distinction between machine, tomb, and treasury disappeared.
The mask felt more alive than any story I had read about pharaohs.
I felt judged, not for entering, but for belonging to a world that would have torn this place apart. I knew then that opening his coffin would add nothing to what I already understood. I let my eyes memorize every line of the Horde, knowing no record could ever match this moment.
I turned away from more wealth than any empire could safely possess.
His name and his riches folded back into the stone like a pay being shut.
The geometry of wealth vanished first. The memory of it did not.
The vault sealed itself with the ease of a door that had never truly been open.
The vault's games with gold continued, with or without witness.
I had no interest in controlling the vault. Surviving it was enough.
I passed once more through the very bones of the Horde.
The machine relaxed, as if satisfied its secret remained intact.
The trail of studs felt almost humble after the vault below. What had once seemed like the climax now looked like antechamber with good lighting.
They appeared satisfied that the Horde had remained with its rightful owner.
I left behind enough treasure to rewrite economies, and touched nothing.
The lock reset itself, as if my visit had never happened.
The hallway felt narrower, now that I knew what lay beneath it. The tomb was gone from sight, exactly as it preferred.